Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you guys are new here, there's organizations helping the world YouTube. Today, we're going to do a discussion series, episode 7, with another organization. Their organization is called Enough Abuse Campaign. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello, everyone. Today, we have a new guest speaker for our discussion series, so I'll let her introduce herself and kind of explain how the organization started.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Hawthorne. I'm the communications coordinator for MassKids, also known as Massachusetts Citizens for Children. We are a 60-year-old statewide child advocacy nonprofit that works to prevent child abuse. And since 2002, we've led the Enough Abuse campaign, which focuses on preventing child sexual abuse. It was started through a grant from the Centers for Disease Control, and it has since spread to 8 states and 3 countries. We focus on preventing child sexual abuse by training schools, youth-serving organizations, parents, and communities, and giving them the skills they need to prevent child sexual abuse. And we have 2 online courses and many resources on our website, enoughabuse.org, that you can visit for more information. Over the years, MassKids has always focused on helping our state's most vulnerable children, and that has changed from homeless youth, LGBT youth, HIV positive youth, and now we're focused on child sexual abuse prevention. Executive Director is Jetta Bernier, and she leads MassKids, which is based in Massachusetts, but we also direct the National Enough Abuse campaign. So MassKids is kind of the leader of the Enough Abuse campaign. And then when people in other states contact us that they would like to bring the Enough Abuse campaign to their state, Jetta, our executive director, will go to that state and do a 2-day training of trainers with different leaders in the state to provide them the knowledge and skills they need to be able to train people using our curricula. We have 8 different well-researched curricula, like Enough preventing child sexual abuse strategies for schools, and then strategies for youth serving organizations, and strategies for families and communities. So Jetta will go to another state and do these trainings so that people can provide these trainings to parents and schools and youth organizations in that state. And then once they have a licensing agreement with us and they've been trained, they kind of go off on their own, and then they're leading it in their state. So we have chapters in Maine and South Dakota and New Jersey and Nevada and 8 different states. And we also have chapters in Nigeria and Sierra Leone.
So do you guys know what happens in Nigeria? Is it the same I guess stuff that you are already doing?
Yeah, actually, the leader of the Enough Abuse campaign in Nigeria, her name is Dr. Bukola Agankwa. She lives in America, but she travels to Nigeria every year because she leads a nonprofit called Suburban Healthcare Initiative there. And she is currently training 30,000 teachers in Nigeria with the Enough Abuse Strategies for Schools curriculum. She got an agreement from the Department of Education there to train all the teachers in Lagos State in Nigeria, which is very exciting. And she's also doing trainings on ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and the health impacts of that.
What has your organization accomplished so far, or what do you think it has done to help the community? What do you help, clients or the community with besides training?
So the biggest thing that the Enough Abuse campaign has accomplished since it was founded in 2002 is being able to break the silence around child sexual abuse and get people talking about it. And of course, there have been many high-profile cases in the media since then, from the clergy sexual abuse scandal involving priests in 2002 in Boston, because we're based in Boston. So that had a big impact on the need for legislation in the state and getting a statewide task force on child sexual abuse prevention established in Massachusetts, which we serve on. And from other cases like Jerry Sandusky at Penn State to Larry Nassar and USA Gymnastics, there's been more and more national cases that have led to a greater understanding of this issue. and breaking down of misconceptions that people used to have about child sexual abuse. For instance, that kids exaggerate or lie or don't know what they're talking about when they report child sexual abuse. I think people have a much better understanding now that kids rarely lie about child sexual abuse, and they actually tend to underestimate what happened to them and not exaggerate. It's like the opposite of that. And the Enough Abuse campaign has trained hundreds of people and really established coalitions for prevention. Actually, we have 2 initiatives that anyone can get involved in, because I think a lot of times when people learn about child sexual abuse and the prevalence and the impact of it, it can be sort of depressing, but we like to focus on the positive and say that there are things that everyone can do to get involved in prevention. So one of those is our Pledge to Prevent campaign. Anyone can go online to pledgetoprevent.org and take a pledge to prevent child sexual abuse. There are 25 different pledges depending on who you are and how much time you are willing to commit. So some of them are like, oh, I'm a parent and I pledge to teach my child about body safety and boundaries. Or I'm a college student and I pledge to talk to my professors about including child sexual abuse in the curriculum. If they're focusing on a major that will go into working with children, such as education. So whenever someone takes a pledge, they automatically get an email with resources to help them carry out their pledge. So we love the Pledge to Prevent because it's something that anyone and everyone can do to get involved. Oh. And then we're also encouraging in Massachusetts people to contact their legislators, their senators and representatives, to support the prevention package of bills which are 5 different bills that we've been supporting since 2015, and they keep getting reintroduced year after year, and we're just really trying to get them passed. Yeah. And some of that is including child sexual abuse prevention education, mandating it in schools for students and for teachers, so that teachers can recognize signs that someone might be abusing children and learn how to report it and overcome their fears and biases in reporting it. And then also closing the age of consent loophole, which in a lot of states, including Massachusetts right now, if a teacher has a sexual relationship with a student and the student's over that state age of consent, it can't be prosecuted. The teacher could be fired, but they can't be arrested. And in some cases, teachers will groom a student until they're over the age of consent and then begin a sexual relationship with them. So we're trying to push a bill that would enable prosecutors to prosecute educators' sexual misconduct by making it a crime for any teacher or person in a position of authority over a student to engage in a sexual relationship with that student who is under 19 or 22 if they're special needs. So that would cover all students.
Right. And how can, I guess, like where can people find these resources, or where can people like follow you guys?
Yeah, people can follow us on Instagram at Enough Abuse, or Twitter at _Enough Abuse, or like us on Facebook at Enough Abuse Campaign. And on our website, enoughabuse.org, you will see the sidebar on the left that says Pass the Prevention Package. So if you live in Massachusetts, you can click on that to send an automatic email to your legislators. We have an Action Network campaign going that if you enter your name and address, it'll automatically match you with your senator and representative. And we have an already drafted email that you can send. And if you're from another state, you can go on enoughabuse.org and click on our legislative map section. And you can click on the map, it's interactive. You can click on your state to see what the laws in your state. We have 4 different maps for 4 different laws. So you can click on the child sexual abuse education map to see if your state requires education in schools. Or you can click on the criminalizing educator sexual misconduct map to see if your state has closed the age of consent loophole and learn more about how to get involved.
Okay, awesome. And so before we end the discussion really quick, I was going to ask you, like, is there any other programs right now or anything going on right now besides what you already have working, or did you want to include anything else before we do end off?
I guess I would just encourage everyone, no matter who you are, how much time you have, there are pledges on pledgetoprevent.org that anyone can take. The first step is just to be a champion for children, just to pledge to prevent child sexual abuse and learn about it. And the second step is to be a learner, where you'll get different resources to read more in depth about child sexual abuse and learn about the issues. And the next level up is to be a prevention influencer, which involves taking action for prevention in your community. So I encourage anyone and everyone to go on pledgetoprevent.org, take a pledge, and then share it on social media with your followers to help us get more pledges.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and hopefully we can do this again in the future. But I will leave all her links down below so you guys can go follow or support or even pledge or help. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.